y'all. And we're gonna start out by saying Barakateh Yahweh. Barakateh Yahweh. Yeah, we just came from watching that movie Geostorm in the theaters. And you know, pretty much, you know, it's a movie based off of, I mean, loosely, not to give the movie away, it's kind of based off of the HEART program, you know, and these natural disasters that are happening around the world. And see, what Esau does is he tries to manipulate, you know, everything on the earth, because as the scriptures say, he's trying to be like the Most High. And that's the reason why he has this different technology to modify the weather, because he wants to control everything. He wants to control the planet. That's why he wants to chip everybody. He wants to control the weather. He wants to control production. He wants to control people's lives. He wants to control everything, you know, the way everything moves. You know, he wants to control the tidal wave. I mean, on all levels, animals. That's why he's constantly putting chips on animals, tracking them, and doing all kind of madness to them. Cloning animals, fucking with the genetics of people, animals, fruits, you know, whatever. Because he's trying to be like the Most High. But what he's doing is he's changing the dynamic, you know, and the spirit of everything on the planet. So what he's doing is, instead of helping the planet, he's destroying the planet, because everything that he does is goes against the Most High. You know, he was created to be the wicked. You have something?
Yeah, I got something, Apostle. And this is Revelation 16:14. It states, "For they are the spirits of devils working miracles."
Matter of fact, read a verse up above that.
Revelation 16:13. "And I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs."
Now we know that a frog is an unclean spirit, which represents devils, represents demons, you know? Go ahead.
"Come out of the mouth of the dragon."
Now the mouth of the dragon is the Roman Empire. The dragon is a Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And out of the mouth of the beast."
And the beast is NATO and the EU. So these are global and religious entities, so to speak, that are running and controlling the world, because the way they're running and controlling the world is financially, militarily, and religiously. You know, so by these 3, they're controlling and manipulating the minds of the people on different levels.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
And the false prophet is the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church is the mother of all churches on the planet. You know, any religion you see out there, the Roman Catholic Church is a mother of it, so to speak. You know, except for the Hebrew Israelite thing. You know, because the Hebrew Israelite thing has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with the Roman Catholic Church. So now these 3 entities are going around the planet and pretty much destroying the planet and bringing it in to what's called the New World Order. You know, as I was talking, I forget who it was I was talking to, either Chick-fil-A, we went to Chick-fil-A. When we went to get something to eat, or when we were here, or when we were leaving the theater, the brother said something about an idea or something along those lines. And I said, yeah, everything starts with an idea, you know? And even the so-called New World Order started with an idea. It was an idea that they had, but it's not a new idea, because this idea goes back to the beginning of time. Ever since there were people on the planet, whenever someone got control over others, they wanted to bring a new world order. Going back to the Tower of Babel with Nimrod, you know, the Cushites, and in every time frame, every time period in history, nations that ruled or empires that ruled, they wanted one thing, and that was to rule over the whole entire planet. So it's not a new idea, you know. It's an idea that they have, and that's the idea they're trying to bring forth, because that's their agenda. But it's not going to work. But go ahead, and they're in conjunction one with the other. They're all in cahoots, you know. But to the masses of the people, in the public eye, it seems like they're benevolent people, but really behind closed doors, they're being devious. You know, somebody can get Psalm 64 also. Right up.
Back in Revelation 16 and 14, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles.
Right, they are the spirits of devils working miracles, because you can have a place that's not getting any rain, and by the push of certain buttons and the manipulating of the molecules and increasing the weather or decreasing the weather, they can create, you know, rain. You know? But the Most High gave them that technology. Before you read on, somebody get Daniel 12 and 4. You know? You have some?
Hey, can I get the miracles in the Greek?
Yeah, Babakusha.
All right. A miracles in the Greek is pronounced as all right. Strong's G 4592 pronounced as Semayan, Semayan. And this is the point. Definition: a sign, example given, an unusual occurrence transcending the common course of nature.
Right, because see, what it is the Most High said that there were going to be signs in the sun, in the moon. You know, it's going to be perplexity. You know, there was going to be the waves roaring. You know, so all these different things are things that the Most High is doing in these times to increase the prophecies so that the end can come quicker. You know, but what it is, the Most High could do it like that with a snap of a finger. But what he did was he gave this devil the power and the technology and the knowledge to manipulate the weather to bring forth the Most High's plan.
Hey, and if I can add, and that's what it means by transcending the common course of nature.
That's right.
Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai has designed it to do this way.
Yep.
But since he gave that power to Esau on the left-hand side, he's doing it the opposite way. And when you look up the term transcend, it means to go beyond the limits. The limits of what? The way Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai has designed that righteous format, man.
That's right.
We got that in Daniel too.
Bringing that up.
Daniel chapter 12 verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end.
Yep.
Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Right, and knowledge shall be increased. Somebody get that in Wisdom of Solomon, where the Lord told King Solomon said the alteration of the time, or something like that, or the seasons. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So the scripture said that knowledge shall increase. Now, how has knowledge increased? It has increased through the technology that the Lord has given them. And somebody get that one in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus. No, I'm sorry, Second Ezra, where it speaks about their wicked inventions. You know,
you want that Psalm 64
devices. Yeah, we gonna get to that. Let's get the Wisdom of Solomon real quick.
It's Wisdom of Solomon 7.
We gotta get back to that Revelation.
Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17. For he have given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operations of the elements. The beginning.
Right, the operation of the elements. Because the elements are what? They have the periodical chart, right? Which consists of different elements, whether it's gold or silver or whatever, mercury or whatever it is. And there's and when you mix certain of those elements together, they create so what I'm looking for, like a combustion, right? You know, they create like a combustion, or they create some type of thing, you know, for lack of better words, you know, that's outside of the normal.
Not,
you know,
not to be a spoiler, but they mentioned that joint of elements in the movie.
God.
How they with their harp system.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. I mean, they didn't mention the harp program,
right?
But pretty much that's pretty much what it is. You know, centered around that. And pretty much, if you watch the movie, you know, I mean, if you see the trailer, they pretty much give you the movie in a nutshell. You know, but read that again.
All right, and there's more. Okay.
Matter of fact, let me read this real quick and you jump back to that. No, you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I'm trying to get. I'm getting a little ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
Start back from the top.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17.
And if y'all brothers got any scriptures or precepts, you know, points, I could, you know, jump in.
For he have given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of times.
Right. So King Solomon seen all these things, you know, and he was able to manipulate elements, you know, if he wanted to. He was able to talk to animals, you know, which we can't do today. You know, he was able to do a lot of different things. He knew it's gonna say the virtues of herbs and you know you could go to a certain barks of trees and pull the bark off and make something out of it to heal somebody. You know, or you could go to a particular plant and this plant is poisonous. It could poison somebody. You know, he knew all of that. Go ahead.
All right. The alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the positions of stars.
So he knew all of that, okay?
The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots.
Yeah, you know, but the point is the what did it say about the first verse you just read?
The natures of living creatures.
No, the very first verse where it was the 17th verse.
Okay.
The operation of the elements. That's it.
The
operation of the elements, because each element is when you combine it, like for instance H2O, which is water. That's hydrogen and oxygen. You mix certain amount of hydrogen and certain amount of oxygen, and those two elements create water. So they know how to splice these things together to create these different storms, to create hail. You know, to create a snowstorm, to create tsunamis, you know, to create earthquakes. You know, it takes a certain amount of friction or whatever the case of the certain elements to create these different things. And that's what's happening on the planet right now. The Lord gave them this technology because knowledge shall increase. The person who's running the planet, who's supposed to be in charge of the planet, can use these things for good, but they're not going to use it for good because their whole purpose is to do evil. Because that's what they were created for. You know? That was it on there. You got something? Okay. You got something?
Yeah, it was a quick one. Isaiah 47 and 10. It said, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none else seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee."
Ooh, thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee. Because the Lord gave them this knowledge. But what did they do? Instead of giving credit to the Most High, which they're not going to do, they got puffed up and they use it what? For evil. You know? Like certain individual we know. They have the knowledge of the scriptures, but instead of using it for good, they use it for evil. That's what Yahushua told them, wicked Pharisees and them, you have your father the devil. And the lust of your father you will do. You know? So these devils are not going to do right. You know? Even though they got the ability to do that. They have the ability to stop hunger on the whole planet. They have the ability to stop poverty on the whole planet. But you know why they're not going to do it? Because they're the devil. You know, but if you want to go deeper, because the Most High, his purpose is going to stand. He said, the poor you always have with you. Yahushua said that. The Most High said that in the Old Testament. Yahushua said it in the New Testament. You know, so the poor are always going to be here until the kingdom comes. Once the kingdom comes and Israel becomes righteous again and we become rich again, the ones that's going to be poor is the other nations. So poverty is always going to exist because why? Poverty is a perfect balance to riches. You need both. And the Most High is not going to do it with one from the other. So somebody got to play the part of the rich. Somebody got to play the part of the poor. We played the part of the poor as long as we've been here. Now it's time for this thing to be spiritually flipped. You know?
And it says, "And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me."
Right, I am and none else beside me. Meaning what? They're trying to be the Most High, because that's one of the Most High's titles. I am. I am that I am. They're trying to be the Most High because the Most High gave them that technology and that power. You know, so instead of using it for good, they're going to use it for evil. You know?
And these, I make the point.
Yeah, brother, yeah.
Yeah, these so-called white people, man, they are way prouder than they ever been, man. All right, they are way prouder now than they was when they was the Greeks, man. They way prouder now when they was the Romans, man, because they didn't have all this technology, all this know-how during those ancient times, man. But now, all right, their knowledge has increased so much, man. Everything's happening so fast on their demand, man. And then they mastered the witchcraft on the left-hand side. These devils actually think that they can go toe for toe with the Most High, man.
Yeah. Hey, because that's how demonic they are. That's why they have the space station. That's why you got devils like Reagan, which he's dead now. You had devils like Reagan making speeches of would we not leave our differences alone if we found out that there was a force from outer space that was coming to attack us? You know, they would leave that alone. Why? Because, and what would they do? Leave off from fighting each other, right? And then try to fight these angelic beings that are coming. And they know, he knew exactly who he was talking about. But to the average person out here, they talk about what? Those are UFOs. They're aliens, you know. They're aliens, you know. And when they're not, we know who they are. We know according to the scriptures who they are. They have the Bible. They know that according to the Bible who Yahweh Shai and those so-called UFOs. They know who those vehicles are. But they're not going to give the credit to the Most High. So they're trying to hide it from the people. So the Most High is going to make something happen to where it's not going to be able to be hidden anymore.
Also, if I could just add, you know, because they know the scriptures.
Yeah.
And when they talk about what the little green man, it goes back to Daniel the 10th chapter.
Yeah.
Because Yahweh Shai's body was likened to the barrel.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Which
you
is
know,
the garment,
the garment of green. So that's mocking Yahweh
Yeah.
Shai.
Yeah.
You know, so in order to do that, you, like Apostle Gabar always states, in order to make a lie, you have to know the truth, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's right. Was that it on that?
Yeah.
Okay, you say you had a precept up? And you got a precept too, right? All right.
That is Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
That's right. Okay?
He covered the face of the judgment thereof. If not, where and who is it?
Right. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the question should be beyond the shadow of a doubt who the devil is or who the wicked is. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's controlling the earth today? The so-called white man. This was a future prophecy for the end. Because the other nations, although among Israel you have wicked men, some Israelites are more wicked than Esau. You know, you have wicked men and women and children, all that among the other nations, but there's a particular nation of people on the planet Earth that are the wicked, and they were created for that purpose. And so who is that? The so-called white man, Edomites.
I got a quick one. Just a master brother, Ezekiel 28:14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covered.
Right, because in Job 9:24 it says that he covered the faces of the judges thereof. How did he do that? By putting his face in the place of the Most High, in the place of Yahweh Shai, in the place of the angels, in the place of the Israelites. Right? So the Lord said that he is the anointed cherub that covereth. Now the word cherub means mighty one. And what does it mean by anointed? You know, pretty much it. Anointed, chosen. So they were the chosen mighty ones. Go ahead.
That covereth.
That covereth. Meaning what? They put a covering over people on the planet Earth. They give different nationalities to people on the earth when the Bible gives you every different nationality of every nation on the planet. But they're going to put their labels on it. What they want you to see. You know? They're going to disguise it. But now the Lord is making it to where that disguise is being taken off. Somebody get Isaiah 25. Is there more to that?
And
25 and 7.
Back in the scripture, Ezekiel 28:14, and I have set thee so.
Right, the Most High. Look, the Lord set him like that. He's the one that set this devil up. So there's not a goddamn thing you can say to change him. If the Most High set him up to be the devil, then goddamn it, he's gonna be the devil. The fuck? You know, you got these people that are trying to change it. You're not gonna change the devil, man. The devil was created to be the devil for a purpose. He's gonna be that way until he's destroyed off the planet. Because he has a purpose. His purpose is the Most High's purpose. The Most High made him the devil. Just be thankful the Lord didn't make your ass the devil, man. God damn, man. And everybody on the planet is trying to save this devil. Here it is, this dude is a demon, a deviant, a pedophile, but the whole world wants to save him. You know? Anytime you talk about the Lord only came to save Israel, they don't worry about the Chinese, the Moabites, the Japanese, the Ammonites. They don't worry about the Elamites, East Indian, the Ishmaelites. They don't worry about nobody else except for the white man. What about the white man? Well, what about the Arabs? What about the East Indians? What about the Chinese, Japanese, the Polynesian people? What's up with them? Why you don't stand up for their cause? You don't stand up and speak out for them. Why it always got to be the so-called white man? Because this man is a goddamn devil, man. He's the devil. And that's what he has the whole world tricked. Even people that say that the Most High and His Son are so-called black men, they still have in their mind the image of sweet Jesus, man. You know? Who was reading? That was it?
I'm going to finish it on the
All right.
I say so.
Man, it's mind-boggling. I mean, we understand, but sometimes you just like, you still be like boggled in your mind sometimes, you know?
Yeah, they'll still have him with the dark skin, but a perm still.
Yeah.
Like, they still can't get away from it.
That super perm.
Like James Brown.
Yeah, man. Get on up with that. You gotta
All right.
get up off of that thing.
Ezekiel 28:14. And I've set thee so, thou was upon the holy mountain of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they control Israel at this time from the land mass.
Yep, they controlled Israel. And even when you go way back to the beginning, they were in the garden. They was in that garden. Go ahead.
Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
Yeah, those were that's Jake. You know, the stones of fire, Israel. Go ahead. That was it. All right. So
Going to Isaiah now.
Isaiah, give me Isaiah 25:7 real quick, and then this brother said he had a scripture. You had a scripture too. What you got?
You going back to Esau can't be made righteous.
Yeah, we're gonna get that, but let's finish this up. Get that one, and then this one. Then you can jump into that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people.
Right. So there's an actual darkness, an actual veil. Somebody get Isaiah 60:1. There's an actual darkness, an actual veil that was put upon the whole planet. But now through the word of the Lord, right, and the men that's out there teaching, that veil is being pulled back, and Esau's skirt is being lifted. And what's happening is they're mad now. And what are they doing that they're mad? They're trying to send their flunkies, as Apostle Tar called them, these wacky ass Christians, to try to overturn the truth. But the truth is already out. The juggernaut is already out, man. he's out the gate already. Yahweh Shai has already been preached out there. And it's a momentum thing. And that's why it's increasing. You know, and that's why, you know, you hear Apostle Tar and other men of Israel, of Great Millstone teaching his word, and it's increasing. You know, and the more it increases, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Why? Because it's the Most High putting that avalanche of truth out there, because there's been lies taught for so many centuries that now the truth has to overtake all of these lies. And that's what's happening, casting down imagination, pulling the veil back, you know, on these devils, letting the nation taking that dark veil away from everybody, you know. But only the elect are going to see it. The rest of the people that's out there are not going to get it. You got it right. Isaiah 25 here.
It says, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Yeah, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So who got Isaiah 60?
I got you.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 60:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come.
Now this is speaking to who? To the elect. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. What is the light? The word. It tells you that what in Proverbs the 6th chapter, the Lord is light. You know, so the Lord, this law, these precepts, these statutes, these prophecies, that's the light. The light shines. Did not Yahweh said no man can take a candle and put it under a bushel or something like that? But he puts it out so that everybody in the house can see. That's what's happening right now. That light is burning bright, and these devils are getting mad. They're getting anxious. They're getting nervous. They're getting scared. And they're seeing that no matter what they do, it's not working. So they have to step it up. You know? So just the same way that we out there through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Shai stepping the word out and pushing the word out hot and heavy, these devils are pushing their lies out there hot and heavy. The harder we go, the harder they go. So when they go hard, we got to go harder. You know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. You know, that's why Yahweh Shai said the laborers, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Pray to the Lord of the harvest that he sent forth laborers into his vineyard. It ain't time to sit down. It ain't time to take breaks. You know, the rest comes in the kingdom. It's time to push this word and push it out, because the end is coming. You know, the end is clear. You know, the end is near. You know, so it's time to push this word out. It's time to just keep on hammering away at this kingdom with the word, because the Most High's word is a hammer, and it's breaking down these damn devils, man. And they get mad. But so what? Get mad. You know, and that's why eventually there's going to be a great persecution, man, and a great slaughter upon the people of the Lord. But you know what? That's all part of it. You know, and that's why we just got to keep pushing. You know? Oh, was that another, brother? Yeah, Isaiah 60, right? Yeah.
Isaiah 60:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee.
Yeah.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
Right, and gross darkness the people, go ahead.
And Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Right, and so the men of the Lord that are part of the elect, the light of the Lord is going to shine upon them. You know, Lord's will, we are those men. We are the hopeful elect. You know, and that light is shining upon us. And we're doing the things that the elect would do, but we still hoping and praying that the Lord have mercy upon us in that day. You know? So that's what's happening. And that's why all this stuff that's coming out, like the movie, a movie Geostorm coming out, you know, we're actually pushing, you know, breaking it down, you know, breaking down the movie, because it's Esau's way of showing that he's so-called in control of the earth and of the elements and all that, which he is right now, because the Lord gave him that ability. You know, because why? Because we're coming towards the end of this thing. You know. And anybody got anything else?
Yeah. Okay.
We got a couple of them.
Psalms chapter 82, verse 5. It said they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course, meaning everything is off kilter. You know, nothing is working properly. Everything is off balance. That's why you see the weather changing and the weather patterns that are happening. You know, and on top of all of that being off, because this devil is pumping so much oil out of the earth doesn't have the right amount of lubrication for the tectonic plates to work properly. You know, and it doesn't have the proper nutrients in the earth. You know, and on top of all of that, he has that heart program and other weather modifying technology to mess mess with the natural cycle of everything. You know?
Right.
More than that.
No, that's it.
All right, I got a quick one.
Yeah, bring it up.
Isaiah.
You got something?
I get this.
Salaka, brother. I know you've been holding on to that. Hey, we gotta let this brother bring that scripture up. But go ahead.
Okay. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped.
Right, who opposeth and exalted himself above everything that is called God. Because at one time, everybody knew, even though the Most High is still in control, everybody knew that the Most High controls the weather pattern. But this devil, now he got the technology, right, to modify the weather. And now you got these, what they call free thinkers. What else? Something else that they call themselves. This New Age movement shit. You know, it's like free thinkers and all that bullshit. And they say, well, no, really, the weather's being modified because, or the weather is all messed up because the heart program. So even in that, they don't give the Most High credit. It tells you in that Wisdom of Solomon 13th chapter. You know that they don't give the Most High the credit for the things that are seen.
Or they'll give it to Mother Nature.
Yep.
Or state, you know, it's the universe. So on and so forth, man. So everything Esau does is calculated to take all that credit instead of Yahweh Shem Shai. Because at the end of the day, it's all about their birthright, man. So what he wants to do is he wants to destroy the nation of Israel, eradicate them from the earth so he can receive their birthright. And all those lower class Edomites, they're just classified as collateral damage, man.
That's why in the movie he tried to make it seem like he was the hero.
Yeah.
Like he was saving the planet Earth from the Most High. You know, he tried to put himself up above. You know, he tried to one up the Most High, man.
Right.
You know what nation of people has done that, man? Besides the so-called white man.
God. And that's why we call this man the devil, man. Because everything he does, he deceives the masses, man. You know, that's why we call him Satan, because he is an adversary, which leads into the opposition, man, of Yahweh Shem Shai and the elect.
That's right.
Can I just say this real quick?
Yeah, brother.
Just comment on what y'all talking about with Esau. See, he said, you know, bros, I didn't get to see the movie, but just commenting on it, Esau, he made a statement saying, you got people who out here talking about, you know, they pray for answers and all that when you could just get on Google and whatever you need and whatever you want to ask for, and whatever you want to know, instead of just praying and hoping you get some type of mysterious vision, you can just get on Google and find out. Google is the new God, and he was dead serious.
No, but he did. You know? But it is to the world. You know, it is to the world, because see, it's one thing to type something up and look it up and get the answer, but it's another thing to be able to see spiritually. You know, because you have carnal and you have spiritual. You know, most people cannot receive spiritual things. You know, so if you type in a question on Google, of course you're gonna get the answer, but are you gonna get the spiritual answer, or are you just gonna get the physical answer? You know, yeah, brother got it.
All right, just finish it out right quick. 2 Thessalonians 2:4, who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitting in the temple of the Most High.
And that goes back to Job 9:24. He paint the judges, man. Because what has he done? Basically, he has taken the originality of the scriptures, us being so-called dark-skinned and brown-skinned people, and he made it as if he was white, or if the angels were white, and that is contradiction to the scriptures, man. Go ahead, bro.
Showing himself that he is the Most High.
Right, and he's not the Most High, man. You know, because Esau has got all this fucking credit, man, for so long, man. And that's why we pray for the downfall of Esau, man. Because if not, no flesh will be saved, man. But we know through the scriptures that the elect is going to be saved anyway. So you can't offset the prophecies, Esau. And if you kill us, so on and so forth, it's still going to be elect men that's going to make it, man. And then they're going to jumpstart our nation, man, in the kingdom, man.
Right.
So Yashar, Milwaukee, you dumb idiots, man, there's going to be sex in the kingdom, because the 2/3 has to come back, man.
Let me just add, the heart program is another example of him sitting in the temple of the Most High, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting in the seat of the Most High by way of his little harp system, man. You know, that's just another example of it.
Yeah.
And those
that's
nukes.
the manipulation of the weather. What's that?
I was just saying those nukes too. He used scientists. You know, back in the day they used to use the blacksmith. That's the modern day blacksmith for him. He got scientists. Yep. They come up with all type of ways to split atoms and everything, make bombs and cause earthquakes, just all types of different stuff. This man, he control. That's why he wanted to do that chip, so he could control life and death, control the weather. He cloning meat, cloning fruit, you know, trying to clone people, you know. So yeah, he wants to. He's putting himself in a position, right, as the Most High.
Another the transgender shit.
Oh yeah.
Most High made female and male. If he made you a male, you be a fucking male. He made you be a female, be a female. That's it. But Esau will do what the fuck he want to do it, how he want to do it, when he want to do it.
It goes back into the scripture, Revelation 16 chapter, of basically how he goes contradictory to the to nature, man. Because Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai said it male and female. He said fruit and so on and so forth to have seeds and stuff. Yep. What does Esau do? He takes the seed away from it, you know?
Yeah. You got something up? Go ahead, I was going to read the scripture now. Go ahead, brother. No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, bring it up.
Right, this sweating over there.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Must that be.
This is Psalm 37:6. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass.
Hey, and that's Esau.
Yeah, when you look up that word, it goes into inventions. You know, so that's his GMO system, his cloning system, like the brother brought up, his heart program.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's his power. That's his power. And that was given to him because the scripture say that knowledge shall increase. Now that he got control of the planet, what he do? He's destroying everything. Right. This is Isaiah 24:5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So everything that they do is contrary to nature. Now you gotta
no, bro, and that's the definition of Esau, man. He just transgressed everything, man. And basically we are as the inhabitants of the earth. Why? Because Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai has placed him in that power seat.
That's right.
Because the scriptures say he trespassed the covenants, because the scriptures are right like a manual on how to obtain and maintain the planet Earth, man. You know how to deal with nature, how to deal with your fellow brother, all right, how to deal with the animals, man. The scriptures, all right, has a manual for that, man. But Esau cast the scriptures behind him and come up with his own way, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you can get that, bro. You got something?
This Proverbs 28:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Hey, brother, we could go out every Saturday or Sunday, whenever brothers go out, and read that scripture and close up camp and go back home. You know, because that right there, that kills, that just shows you that Esau, the so-called white man, is the wicked. Because whenever any other nation ruled, there were hardships, you know, there were wars and all that stuff. But as a whole, people are not in mourning. Today, the people on the planet Earth are in mourning, you know, to a great degree. And there's only 1% pretty much of the planet that's doing really good. You know, and then there's a few other people that's doing well to do, but the ones that's really enjoying this planet, you know, and enjoying and reaping the fruits is just the 1%, man, which is the international bankers, Fortune 500 families. And guess what? They're all so-called white people, Edomites, you know? And some people say, well, no, white people ain't controlling stuff. It's the Jews. The so-called Jews, they're so-called white people. I mean, the fuck? You know, it's like sometimes the shit that come out of people's mouth, you just be like, just shut the fuck up and don't say nothing, man. You know? Yeah, brothers got it. Yeah,
This song.
Sounds good. You had something now? Okay, yeah, bring it out.
This is Psalms 50 and 16.
Because there's a point I wanted to make in the movie. You know, Lord's over, you know, we'll get to it, but go ahead, brother.
This Psalms 50 and 16.
Beautiful.
But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
You got it, bro. You could break it down.
Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth. You know, because the so-called white man, he played their role, you know, like there was a nation set up on the Bible, man. All right, but as years steady go by, man, he gets further and further away from the scripture, man. All right, because from when the 13 colonies was established to 2017, man, he continually transgressed from the scripture, man, and showing his true colors, man. Letting you know that he never wanted to have anything to do with the scripture, man. He wanted to come over here and do his wickedness freely, man. That's why America is the place on the planet where people come to and be wicked as they want, man. You know?
I'm glad you said that, bro. I'm glad you said that, because there was a point in the movie, somebody get, should I get Isaiah 14 and
No, really.
okay, started around the 4th verse. In the movie, right, the dude said, how did he put it? Damn, I just had the quote in my mind. He said something about they want to take everything back. The dude Ed Harris, he said he want to take everything back to 1945 when America was the beacon of light. Mm-hmm. You know, meaning before everybody knew, before America's skirt was pulled up and they saw all that. Oh shit, what the fuck? You know, before they saw all of that, they want to bring it back to that where America was that beacon of light, that golden city that people wanted to come to. You know, and aspire to be. You know, but you ain't going back to them glory days, man. Them glory days are finished with a T at the end, man. Isaiah 14, yeah.
Isaiah 14 and 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased?
Right, so we coming to the point now, because when you read up above that, it tells you that Jake is going to start coming together. And when this starts happening, what's going to happen is we're going to come through the Spirit of the Lord. We're going to come against the king of Babylon, which right now the king of Babylon represents Trump, you know, and all the different presidents or Caesars that have governed in America. But really, when you go deeper into it, really the king of Babylon really goes into the Rothschilds and them, you know. But right now, the puppet leader of Babylon the Great, right now is Trump, you know. So go ahead, read that again.
Isaiah 14 and 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
Right, so you pretty much, how has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Wait a minute, I thought you was this great beacon of light at one time. What happened? You know? What's up? Your lights are going dim. You need to change the battery. You need to change the lights, the filament and the light flickering in and out. You know? So it's a mockery. So pretty much what we're doing out here when we go out there and teach, we're making a mockery of America. We're making a mockery of the so-called white man. We're making a mockery of the power structure through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gave us the instruction to do this. That's why in Isaiah 13 it says, exalt the voice, shake the hand at them, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Because something is going to have to be done about what we're teaching. Because all other nations, if you notice, the other nations and these other religions, they're not being persecuted like the Hebrew Israelites are being persecuted. Because these other religions are not a threat. You know, the reason why you had our forefathers that were being persecuted back then, because they were a threat. You know, when you had the Apostle Paul and the Apostle Peter and Yahweh Shai and all those great men back then preaching against Rome, preaching against the society that was set up, they were a threat to them. That's why they were being persecuted. These so-called religions today are talking about bringing all people together. That's not what the scriptures say. And that's not what those great men were teaching back then. Those great men were teaching against the societies that they were living in. That's why they were being persecuted. And that's why they're trying to stop this verbally now by these different groups that they set up, and it's not working. So eventually what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to get physical. You know, it's going to have to get physical in order for them to try to stop it. But then when they get physical, then the Most High is going to get physical. You know? And that's what's going to bring that perfect balance. Because when they come, the Lord going to have to stop these devils. They're going to come like a flood. And if they and if the Lord don't put a stop to them, they'll wipe out, you know, all the men of the Lord. And that's not going to happen because the words of the Lord have to be, words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai have to be fulfilled, man.
Had a quick one.
Bring it up.
Jeremiah 51:14. The Lord of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. The Most High is going to set up men to basically curse out America, man, while they're in America. I will fill thee with men. I'll read that again. Jeremiah 51:14. Yahweh of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee.
Yeah, and they're coming against the establishment, so to speak, the owners of the house, as George Carlin used to call them, the owners of the house, which is who? The Illuminati. You know, they don't call themselves that anymore. The international bankers, whatever you want to call them, the alumbrados, whatever. You know, the establishment. That's who is speaking about. Because they're the main stronghold of the society, not these so-called everyday Edomites that they might have $1 million or $2 million or $5 million or $10 million. That's chump change, man. That's like having $10 in the hood. You know, that's chump change to the Rothschild. They'll blow $10 million on stuff, and it'll be like nothing to them. You know, because they're worth trillions, and maybe even more. That's just what's on the books. All right, anybody got anything else? All right,
all right, this is Jeremiah 50, 31 and 32. Behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud.
Yeah.
Said the Most High of hosts, for the days come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall.
Yeah, because now check it out. The Most High is visiting them right now with the mouth of the prophets, but he's also visiting them with these different storms. You know, and even if they're manipulating the weather, that's the Most High still, you know, manipulating the storms, because he gave them that technology. So the Lord said he's against you, most proud. Because there's nobody more proud than the so-called white men, than the Edomites. They are the epitome of pride. That's why the scriptures say the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Because they got the power right now. They really think that they're going to continue on. You know, they really think that they're going to continue on forever. It ain't going to happen. Remember that?
And none shall raise him up. I will kindle a fire in his cities and shall devour all around about him.
That's right, bro. That's right. Because, hey, man, when the Most High starts smoking this place, man, you know, just the sheer horror of knowing that the missiles are coming from different parts of the world, coming here to America, and the people that are still here on the soils of America, just that alone is going to be devastating. how you word it, let alone or something like that. The fire, you know. In other words, the anticipation of getting burnt up and then the actual burning, all of that shit is gonna be a horrible destruction, you know.
Go ahead. There you go. This is Revelation 11 and 18. Saying the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give us unto thy servants the prophets, Shalach, and that thou should give reward unto thy servants the prophets,
That's right.
and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Yeah, and you being reserved, the more you do, talking about you international bankers right now, okay? Everybody else, you ain't gotta listen to this one. The more you do, right, the more you heaping up coals, the more you heaping up stones for your burial, the more you're gonna have to pay for. So keep heaping it up. Whoop it up, man. Because when the Most High start opening up on your demonic ass, you ain't gonna be able to deal with it, man. And you international bankers, you ain't gonna die. You know, you're gonna go to your little bunkers or wherever. You're gonna have your little filet mignon and shit, your Dom Perignon, you know, filet mignon and Dom Perignon, your little caviar, whatever the hell you eat, you know, baby shit, whatever the fuck you eat. You're gonna have all that stuff in them bunkers or wherever you're gonna be at. But then 1 second after that destruction, when the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua brings us back down, hopefully with those men that come back down up off them chariots, we're gonna hunt you down on the earth, man. It's gonna be like a Planet of the Apes, man. We're gonna go around seeking you out, and you're not gonna be able to hide because we're gonna know exactly where you at. And then once we find you, we're gonna pull you out them shelters. You're gonna be in your nice $3 to $5 or $10,000 tailor-made suits, you know, with the $5,000 shoes or whatever it is you wear, you know, floor shop, whatever the hell kind of shoes you got now, you know, and you're gonna be part of your jacket's gonna be ripped off, your tie's gonna be fucked up, you're gonna be missing one shoe, you're gonna be missing teeth, you know, you might be missing eyes and ears, you know what I'm saying, just marching, you know, in chains, and then a group of you devils are gonna be going around wherever there's dead bodies at of these different dickheads in the military, and one of you's gonna be putting a sign up that there's dead bodies here, and another one of you devils gonna come through and be burying them, you know. So man, it's gonna get real out here. You know, you're gonna do your thing. You're gonna have a great slaughter upon the children of Israel in this time, but the Most High gonna get you for everything you do. You're not gonna escape from none of it, man. You know.
Yeah, I got a quote with an apostle. Hey, this is Obadiah.
Hey, your brother got it.
All right, this is Obadiah 1:4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. You know, if you know anything about the eagle, out of all of Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah's birds, it fly the highest. And it states, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. What's your nest? These satellites. Space stations as well. You know, and then it states, thence will I bring thee down, said Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah. And it was a Japanese scientist, I forgot his name at this time frame, but he says that they have a system where they can spray nanoparticles in the sky. And how they do it is they create storms by the activation of lasers from the satellites, man. And so when you break down the term geostorm, geo means earth, and storm means to stir or stir. And you put those two terms together, it's actually to stir the earth, man. And so how does he does that? Weather manipulation. That's why he has patents on hurricanes and weather modification, man. But at the end of the day, everything goes back to Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah on the left-hand side, because he rules in the kingdom of men.
And they show you that, brother, when they was manipulating the weather, how the satellites would turn a certain way, and they would emit certain energy to the earth, and they would create certain weather patterns. Yeah.
And they said, I was reading an article on, I think it's yournewswire.com, they've been having this type of technology, not as modified as now, since like the 1800s.
Yeah.
It was making it rain.
Yeah.
It shows you that, if I can say this,
Yeah.
it shows you that on the movie The Good Shepherd. Like if they go to a country and the country didn't want to make an agreement with them, next thing you know, a swarm of locusts will come and destroy their crops. And it'll kind of imply like, where did they come from? But the CIA was they controlled the world at that time, like the 1950s. So that was like a less advanced version of what they're doing now.
Yeah.
You don't consent to America. Next thing you know, you probably got to get an earthquake hit your country.
Which goes back to what Chavez said, the former president of Venezuela. When it happened to Haiti, what he states, it was nothing but America playing like their God. He understood the HARP system.
That's what they got him, man. That's what they got him.
God.
You know, because in the war for the New World Order, the truth has no place, man. You know, the truth has no place because everything is all set up on lies, fraud, deceit. You know, and that's what they want. And that's how they like it. That's what they want. They want to be in the shadows. You know, they don't want to be out in the forefront. They don't want to tell the truth. You know, only thing they want is to tell the lies so that they can bring forth their so-called New World Order.
That's why this movement, you know, is directly against this New World Order, man. The spiritual building, all right, of the house of Yahweh by Shemal Shah was his elect men, all right, out here preaching and teaching his word and truth, man, because it's uncovering all the lies, all right, and it's totally against this place, man. You know, I got to preach that.
Yeah, bring it up, brother, bring it
and
up.
This is going into how, no, this truth is a problem for the New World Order, man. This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees at a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Yeah. You know, so that's going into how this truth stirs up everything, man, because it is going against the so-called white man, all right, chiefly, all right, these other nation, man, who benefit off us being in darkness, man, and to our people who have good positions, these Uncle Toms, all right, who have good position in Esau's kingdom, it goes against, they set up too, man. That's why these pastors get so mad, man. These pork chop pastors, man, the plantation Christianity, man. That's why you see Christians out there trying to go out on the highways and byways and bring the word, man, because it's messing up their money, man. You know, so this truth is casting down everything, all right, that's against you. How about Shemal Shah, man, and that's not right, man. So all wickedness, all right, the light is being shined on all wickedness of the planet Earth, man, through the truth of how about Shemal Shah, man, starting with our apostles and elders and the men on down, man.
Yeah, appreciate for that. You hear this on Scott?
No, you got it.
This Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1 and 2. It says, the word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet, declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard.
Yeah, and publish means to make it public. A standard is what? These scriptures, the Bible. Because the standard is that what? That righteousness is going to rule once again on the planet. That's why when you read in the book of Peter, it says that when the Lord takes his place down, then righteousness is going to rule. You know, I mean, there's so many words, I can't think of the exact quote, but in so many words, the next world that's coming is going to be ruled in total righteousness. You got it.
It said, declare ye among the nation and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces.
That's their different idols that they're trusted in to build up this wicked society, and that's also talking about these church systems. You know, because these church systems are based off of Baal worship. That's why you got sweet Jesus or the other Jesus. You know, that represents Baal worship.
And they just put those temples of Baal up all over America.
Yeah, you're right. That's right, bro.
It said, Merodach is broken into pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces.
Yeah, because what's going to happen eventually is all this stuff that's been set up, that the world believes in, it's all going to come crumbling down. It's crumbling down right now. You know, I don't know if the brother got any closing scriptures. You got a scripture, brother?
Yeah, just going to how we refer to America as the beacon of light.
Oh, okay, get down.
All right, Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selling nations through whoredoms.
Right, the mistress of witchcraft. Now the word mistress is a feminine way of saying master. The master of witchcraft. Why? Because they have mastered the art of witchcraft going back to all those different empires in the past. And America has taken all those different demonic worship and witchcraft and all that and brought it all into one. That's why she's called Babylon the Great. You know, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. You know, because this place has taken over all the different, because they study everything. So they're taking over all the different demonic shit that the world had to offer, these different empires had to offer, and they put it all together as one. You know? And she became a master or a mistress, you know, of all this stuff. Go ahead.
The mistress of witchcrafts that selling nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft.
Yeah, and that's what it was. You know, that's how they be able to sell, you know, these things, because they sell people, that dream, you know, and in their philosophy, which the world believes is a noble thing through so-called Christianity or Catholicism or whatever, is nothing but witchcraft, you know, and it's lightly veiled witchcraft at that. You know, and they pushed it on the world, and the world bought it. Now, that's why these nations come over here with the expectation of living a good life, and then when they get here, say, man, I was told different, man. I was told this place was the beacon of light. There was this and that, the other, and then you get here, you're gonna prosper. Man, I came here, man. I could go back to my country and make more money than I make here, because this place is nothing but smoke and mirrors. You know, it's just like that woman that looks real good. You know what I'm saying? But then when you pull her clothes off, you know, she's full of all different types of diseases. But she look real good on the outside. But when you go in there, what's that up?
Nah, so like I said, she got stretch marks, cellulite,
Yeah,
titty sagging.
I mean that's the least of your worries, man. She got all kind of shit going up inside of her. You know what I'm saying? She got that fire in the inside.
Verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, said Yahweh shall host.
And the Most High said he's against you. The Most High himself said he's against you. You're the adversary. You're contrary to the Most High, but the Most High himself is against you. But he set you up that way because the Most High is going to destroy you. And when the Most High opens up on you, there's not a damn thing you could do. You know, right now you're deceived into thinking that the Most High is with you. That's why it says in Psalms 50, the brother was reading earlier, he said, because the Most High ain't really opened up on you, you thought that he was altogether such as one as yourself. You thought that he was on your side, but he's not. You got one?
Yeah, it says, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
And that's what's happening. The Lord is pulling up the skirt on America. And they're starting to see what you thought was a woman is a man. You know, what you thought was beauty and righteousness is nothing but filthiness and wickedness. You know, what you thought was noble is nothing but low, nothing but a low life, a peasant. You thought that this man was a great prince, a great king, but he's nothing but a peasant. You know, posing as a prince. You know, that's why even the name of the head elite family of this society, the Rothschilds, their origin or their beginning names or the beginning of their family, their name is Bauer. The word Bauer, when you break it down, means peasant. You know, and that's why in the book of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon said, I have seen servants on the ground, servants upon horses and princes walking on the ground. So he saw a role reversal. He saw people that are servants that he knew were servants. He saw them in the vision, and he saw real princes and kings walking on the earth as slaves. You know, and that's what's happening now. You're the pauper or the poor man or the peasant that's riding high in this society, but really you nothing but a slave on the loose, man. You about to get them chains, man. You about to get them chains, dog.
When you look up that word skirts, one of the definitions go to defile it.
Get it, bro. Yeah, man.
Isaiah 14 and 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? It did shake kingdoms?
Right. Because what it is they know right now that Esau, the so-called white man, is the one that's doing all this stuff and dropping bombs and fucking shit up. But it's going to come a point where they're going to be like, this is the devil. This guy right here is the devil. They're gonna come to that realization because they already know who's the one dropping the bombs. You know, it's not a mystery who's the one dropping the bomb. But when they come to find out that this devil is the devil, that's when they're gonna be like, is this the man? You know, that made the earth to tremble. He did this. He did. You know, you got it, bro.
Also, if I can add too, he shakes the kingdom now with that weather modification.
That's it.
You know, Geostorm.
Yeah, that's what you got. What was it? Houston, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico,
you know, Florida. I mean, all them different places where these storms are hitting. You know, now whether they're actually made by the Most High or they're made by Esau, it's still the Most High. You got it, brother.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof.
Mm-hmm.
That opened out the house of his prisoners.
They opened up the house of his prison. Yeah.
Now, you want to keep reading?
No. Go ahead. When you was gonna make a point.
Made the world the wilderness. 1945. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You know.
Yeah. But look at the earth itself.
Yeah.
Apostle Gabar always goes into it, deforestation. You know, the earth is in comparison to what it was. All you gotta do is just look at America, the way America is. Even though you still have places in America that still have beauty to it, you know, nature. The America used to be a paradise when this devil first got here. Look at it now.
Also, like, you know, that was going to shake the kingdoms. Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Shake the car. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot about that. And the heart, you know.
But that's good too because they were as a wilderness. When you see the footage of Hiroshima, Nagasaki after the bombs was dropped, it was nothing but desolation there. There was only two things that weren't affected by the radiation of those bombs, and those are two ginseng trees. They weren't touched. I mean, I'm saying that they were hit with the radiation, but the trees didn't wither.
The ginseng trees.
Ginseng trees.
And ginseng is high as hell now.
Yeah, and then they saw that. You know how Esau is. They checked everything. They wanted to study in that tree. Said, damn, everything else is destroyed. These people got all kind of cancer, but these two trees, they just survived. Nothing happened to them. I wonder why.
Fuck that up.
What's that?
They probably fucked that up.
Yeah. And because we read earlier that King Solomon he knew the virtues of roots. You know, that ginseng tree is very I'm sorry? Potent, the water, brother. Very potent. A very potent, I don't know if you want to call it an herb or a bark or whatever they call it. But I'm sorry?
So like I'll just add it's a root.
It's a root, right? It's a very, very potent root. You know? The water, brother. And they saw the effect that it didn't have no effect when it was hit by that radiation. But everything else around it fell apart. So now they did make it a wilderness. Yeah.
Oh, if I could just say this, make it the world a wilderness. The Mediterranean area, like you know how Jake like to eat that watermelon. I found out that's like native to the Mediterranean area, like like North Africa, Egypt, even where we were. And I found out like that area wasn't always just desolate. That was the fertile area back then. Yeah. A lot of things that we eat here in America, it was native to that region. So Esau, where he literally made the world a wilderness because that's not fertile anymore.
Yeah. Look at the land of Israel. The land of Israel is a wilderness. That's where they got to bring in stuff to make it look natural. You know? Who was reading? Done. Everybody. You got something better out.
It's on Revelation chapter 18, verse 23 and 24. It said, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. Yep. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, Salakia, it said, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
And if I can just add, and that's the aftermath of Yahweh Shem Shah fucking up this place we call America, man, and it's gonna be destroyed within an hour time frame. Why? Because of what the brother's breaking down right now within that scripture, man.
That's right. That's right.
Verse 24, and it said, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
And they killed us when it was with the Roman Empire, and when we came back in this reincarnation, they're gonna kill some of the prophets, man. Yep. Everything is reincarnated.
Yeah, and then you had Apple Bivens that was killed by the Muslims out in Jersey. You know, I mean, you know, you have prophets that died. You have saints that they. I mean, this whole country here is stained by the blood of the saints. You know, they slaughtered the saints here in this country. So all that stuff the Lord is going to require of this devil. Because the only way to cleanse this place, there's no way that you can line up all the Edomites that they have today in America and put them all to death. That wouldn't be enough to cleanse this land of the blood that they shed. You know, because this is something that's been constant going back all the way to the late 1400s into the 1500s and up until this very day. So that's where the Most High is going to nuke it. Because that's the only way that this land can be actually cleansed of the blood, by the Lord nuking it. You know? So anybody got any other precepts? Any other points? Alright, so with that, we want to give all honor and praise to Yahweh, and our Lord's will catch you brothers on the next one. The Lord's will, Yahweh was edified. So we say Shalom.
Shalom.